Welcome back to this Blender tutorial where we are making this beautiful house in Blender. This is part 4 where we are modeling the landscape. In part 3 we modeled the house, part 2 we learnt about the functionality and terminology, and in part 1 we learnt about the viewport, so we're really getting somewhere in Blender today. Alright, let's jump straight into Blender. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the tree and the little platform. So let me show you how to make the tree first. So we're going to add in a cylinder, Shift A, and just a cylinder. We don't need 32 vertices, so we'll just change that to 16, just like that. And we will also click it and we'll press slash so that we're in the mode there. Just going to scale it down and turn off snap tool because I still have it on from last time. And then I'm just going to scale it up along the Z and actually just move it here. Now what we're going to do is do the roots of the tree. So we're going to go in and add a curve. We want to add in a circle, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a round cube, and we want the radius to be 1. We're going to scale it down, pull it along the X, and we might even scale it along the X just like that. Press 1, so we're in this mode, and then we're going to go into edit, and what I'm going to do is turn on proportional editing, change it back to smooth, turn on X-ray mode, and then bring it up. And what I will do is now bring like this guy down. I kind of want it looking like that, and then we might scale it along the Y just so it's a little bit more plumptuous, and then shade that bad boy smooth. We're now going to go Control A. We're going to apply the rotation, apply the transform. Now we're going to go in and add the array modifier and pull that ahead of the subdivision modifier. We want to turn off relative offset, instead turn on object offset. Open it up, select the object, and we want it to be this circle here. Now we want 5 of them. Now you're probably seeing there is nothing happening. That's okay, you're okay. So in the object's properties, we're going to go to Z and we're going to go 360 degrees divided by 5. And now they're all placed around just like that. So you can definitely still fiddle with them if you want to go into edit mode. What we want to do is, because we're going to end up wanting to move it, is we want to apply the array modifier, and then we can delete this little circle. We then want to go into the trunk, and we just want to add in a couple more loop cuts just to the top and the bottom. And then what we want to do is go in and add a subdivision modifier and then shade smooth. We're then going to go in and add a round cube, and remember the radius should be 1. And then we just want to like scale it just a little bit. Add the subdivision modifier there and shade it smooth. So this is the basic tree. We're going to add a couple little leaves to it as well. So we might just put it in a collection. So if we select all of it, click M, and then we'll go tree. Now it'll be in all the collection on the side panel here. Alright, now we're just going to go in and make some leaves for the little tree. So we're going to go Shift A, and then we're going to go plane, go slash, and then scale that down. We're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to subdivide it, and we're also going to scale it along the X. We're going to bring in these vertices by scaling them. Select these ones and bring them in as well. Then we want to select these vertices, turn on proportional editing, and then go G, and we want to pull it down across the Z. And then what I like to do is select these vertices as well and then pull that up a little bit, just like that. There's not a lot of vertexes here, so I'm going to go A, I'm going to go E, and we're going to make this boy a little bit thicker. Then we're going to add in the subdivision modifier, and we're going to look at what this leaf is looking like. Now I want to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to scale it along the Y, and also going to turn off my proportional editing. Go out of edit mode, and then shade smooth. We want the origin point to be the top here. So what we can do is actually just tab back into edit mode, go A, and then move it to where we want it. So now we have this. We can pull it out, scale it down because it's bigger than everyone's houses, and then turn on our snap tool. Face nearest, align rotation to target, and snap to same target. As you can see, it hasn't like rotated, so. And you can add in as many leaves as you want to as well. So we're going to go in and add the cube, and we're going to scale it out, and then we're going to scale it down just like this. Beautiful. And then what we are going to do is add in the collision to it by just selecting that. I'm going to Shift A, and then we're going to add in a plane, make it just a little bit bigger. Alright, so we have our plane, which has a cloth modifier on it, and then we have a cube, which has the collision modifier on it. What we're going to do with the plane is we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to subdivide it. a bunch of times. Then we're going to scale it up a little bit just to be a little bit bigger. We're going to go in and delete some of the faces. We're going to add in our subdivision surface. So we've applied our subdivision modifier. Now we're going to go down to the timeline. Make sure that you are in the timeline and you're at the first frame. If you just shade the smooth and then press space, you will see that it has flopped around the dirt, which I love. I love doing this effect. So I'm really happy with that. You can let it go a little bit longer and see what you like the best. But I think we just leave it at that. Then what you're going to do is apply the cloth modifier, and I like to add in a subdivision modifier. So you can go out, you can go in, just like that, just to give it a little bit more depth. So I think that looks really good. And then we could also add in another subdivision modifier at the bottom as well, just to round out everything. What I'm going to do here is we don't need the collision modifier anymore. We can apply that. We're going to go to edit mode and we're going to subdivide this just a bunch of times, maybe 6, and then add a subdivision modifier to it. I just really like the rounded edges, and then I'm just shading that smooth as well. What we might even do is just make it smaller. And yeah, I think that looks great. So I'm really happy with that. The house looks good. The tree looks good. Just like that. So you should have something that looks like this cute little house. This is looking so good. I'm so proud of you for getting this far. In the next part, we're going to be texturizing everything and rendering it all. And you can click the video here to get started.